So you remember back in the day, there was this Gatorade commercial that had Michael Jordan, the GOAT himself, in it. And you remember the little song that went along with it, If I Could Be Like Mike. I could be like Mike. Lovely singing there. You know, try out for American Idol. Or don't. But anyway, the whole premise of the commercial was if you buy their product, which in that case was Gatorade, that you could be like the greatest basketball player of all time. And I'm sure that did wonders for Gatorade stock and for their sales and all that. I'm sure a lot of little kids were begging their mom and dad, buy me some of that Gatorade that I saw Michael Jordan drinking in the commercial. You know, genius marketing at the time. And it shows us something about kids that as a kid, we'll believe that we can do great things. Like nothing is out of reach for us. You know, like I could be in the NBA someday, or I can sing and sell out a stadium, or you know, I can be a great football athlete. Any of that kind of thing. But I feel like we lose some of that as we get older. You know, reality seems to kind of slap us in the face a little bit. Like we have a dream to go into the NBA, but we grow up to only be 5'3" and trip over our own feet. Or, you know, we want to sing, but we start to realize that we're tone deaf and everybody's covering their ears around us. So we're like, probably not going to be the next Taylor Swift. Probably not going to sell out a stadium anytime soon. But what I think we forget is that all of us still have a greatness inside of us. We still have something great that we can contribute to the world.
That's right.
You know, and it can look different for every person. But, you know, last week we talked about how everybody can do something to make a difference. This week I want to talk about how we all have something inside of us that can make a difference in the world. Slight difference, but
I think for me, when people think of a lot of different things when they hear the name Michael Jordan,
for sure,
the 6 NBA championships, the final MVPs, the scoring titles, all of that. But I think about his journey. I'm a journey guy. So I think about how in 10th grade he was cut from the varsity team.
Wow.
Was given the opportunity to stay in basketball by being on the JV team because he couldn't shoot as well as the coaches would have liked him to have shot.
Wow.
So I think about he had a decision to make. Young Michael Jordan had a decision to make. Either I'm going to quit basketball because I'm not going to make the varsity team, or I can relegate myself to the JV team but have an opportunity to develop my shot. Well, I think what that means to all of us is like we've all been there.
Yeah.
Right? Like something happened, it set us back, and we thought, this is not for me. And I wonder if we would just stop and think about the opportunity in front of us to further develop who we are, our purpose. In this case, Michael got to further develop what would become his craft.
Yes.
Right? And so you think about that decision. He doesn't decide to play basketball his next year, make the team 11th grade. We don't have what I believe what became basketball. I mean, you had in the 80s, you had Bird and Magic do their thing, but Jordan elevated the NBA to what it is today.
Yeah.
Which produced your Kobe's, your LeBron's. So without that decision to persevere that journey, we don't have that. So I always think about what does that mean for us? Like maybe there's a decision we could make to persevere through something, even when it looks hopeless.
Yeah, for sure. And that can look different for each one of us. I mean,
absolutely.
We don't have to let a setback be a defining moment.
That's
we
right.
don't just have to go through the flow of life and forget about some of those dreams that we've had along the way of these little thoughts of, oh, I could really do that. That would be cool. That could make a difference. That could help somebody. I think life has a way of making us forget those things, or maybe, you know, we end up getting shut down along the way. Somebody tells us no, or you know, we feel like we have a closed door. Or maybe our closed door isn't really that. It's not God closing the door. It may just be somebody said no.
Yeah.
Kind of like Michael's coach did.
It's not time.
It just wasn't his time.
Yeah.
And it might not be the right timing on all that. But we all have a purpose, and we all have things inside of us that the world desperately needs. And I feel like when we align what we're gifted at to a need that's out there in the world, that's where the real magic happens.
That's a good point.
It's when we're able to do that. Praying about what your purpose is, what it is that you can contribute to the world, what are you already using that works, and what's something maybe you can develop to use to help make an impact.
So hear from the Lord on that.
You have to hear from the Lord on that.
That's good.
You have to hear from the Lord, and I would encourage you to ask wise people around you that care about you enough to tell you the truth, yes, but to also encourage you to go after whatever that thing is, whatever that dream is inside of you that you're wanting to use to make a difference.
That's good.
So we just want to challenge you guys this week to be thinking about, one, what is my purpose? And two, am I walking in that purpose? But until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Johnny.
And we dare you to hope.
What he said.